Hello and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I am Ranch Moran, Allen's economics correspondent. Each week, I dive into the morass of top economic news stories and fish out compelling narratives, or I retrieve fallacies that have been accepted as conventional wisdom by the swamp creatures for years. This week, does President Joe Biden hate capital? The buzz in the swamp this week was the Biden administration's planned proposal to double the capital gains tax rate to 39.6%. But if this plan goes through, it would be on top of an existing surtax on investment income, plus depending on where you live like California, it could be slapped with a 57% penalty. What is the point of investing if that much is being confiscated? Ostensibly, the purpose behind this idea is to fund the second part of his multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure spending campaign. By now, it is clear that he plans to rely on corporations to fund his extravagant FDRS public works projects. Part 1 of his scheme relies on raising the corporate tax rate to 28%. Some say that these sky-high numbers are a ruse. Instead, President Joe Biden wants to bring the capital gains tax rate to around 26 to 30% and the corporate tax rate to about 25%. Either way, the president's confiscatory efforts are part of his perceived socialist struggle between capital and labor, professing this idea that, quote, it is time to reward work, not wealth. Whatever that means. The early response to these media reports has been mostly negative, at least in the financial markets. The leading benchmark indexes had a sell-off, although they rebounded on the consensus that these percentages are being inflated to garner support for higher rates. Bitcoin had also sunk below $50,000 per coin. Republicans contend that higher taxes on capital would dissuade savings and negatively affect economic growth, especially in the post-coronavirus recovery. But who is right here? It is important to travel back to the 1990s and heed the words of then, surprisingly, Federal Reserve Chair Alan Greenspan, who told a Senate hearing, quote, the appropriate capital gains tax rate is zero. Indeed, capital gains taxes are harmful for entrepreneurs, companies, and investors because their earnings come in the form of immense capital gains rather than income. Higher capital gains taxes curtail innovation, risk-taking, and entrepreneurship. In fact, when the capital gains tax rates were cut in 1978 and 1981, there was enormous growth in these aspects that contributed to the creation of new products and services and businesses. Plus, since this is the only thing that government cares about, the cut in the capital gains tax and the decrease in the top personal income tax rate highlighted something interesting. Government revenues rose, at least according to the Office of Tax Analysis at the Treasury Department. But the president needs to find a way to fleece more money from the public. Since the average American is already tapped out, especially in the age of the COVID-19 public health crisis, the wealthiest of Americans and businesses have to bear the brunt of big government advocacy. Taxing the rich is low-hanging fruit for the left, and these mechanisms will only achieve increasing the size of the government, nothing else. Perhaps this is the chief tenet of Bidenomics, big government at any cost. So, is a Biden doctrine turning out to be a bad return on American investment? The voters will let you know in a couple of years. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column where I discuss in further detail the capital gains tax, lumber prices hitting all-time highs, and the Bank of Russia shocking economists by raising interest rates amid rising inflation. Thank you.
Who are we? We are Americans that believe in liberty. We are a project of the nonprofit One Generation Away. We are patriots who apply the founding principles to the issues of today.
And they keep moving the goalposts on us.
We are educators and commentators who love America and the Constitution. Who are we? We are Liberty Nation.